we can do that, and everything should be good. Theoretically, when it wants to load in. Hello Internet, I am the Iron Phoenix and welcome back to Stationeers. I've been gone for a week, basically took a week off. It was a bit weird, basically because of Christmas and all that, and I was out on Thursday and it was just a bit of a chaotic week, and so I decided, you know what, let's just have a week off and then we can come back to it and get back into the games and stuff. And I completely forgot to make a video today that I wanted to make. I'll do it tomorrow. It's fine. It's on the swatting case. I'll do that tomorrow and I'll stick that up. But we're going to continue from what I've been doing today and yesterday. There's an awful lot of mining involved with Stationeers and an awful lot of just fiddling around with different things, and I've been doing quite a lot of experimentation and manipulation of guides and that sort of thing. You'll see all that in a second. And just some slightly odd things with the game which you kind of need to work out for yourself. But so the first things first, I do have the potential to pressurize this thing. Actually, I've sorted out air as it stands. And we're going to go upstairs for that. So I don't know if you remember, I was kind of starting to think about building up a little. I can't remember if that was actually in this one. Anyway, I added some stairs, and it kind of goes up here into what I would consider my test floor. Oh yeah, because up here we had solar panels. I had a couple of solar panels, and it was just rigged in crudely. Now I went on the internet and I found this. If I just wander around here. This is a rather nice little I/O system that somebody put on the Steam guides section. And what it does is it takes the sun position from the daylight sensor. It converts it through various little things to turn it into a value to turn the solar panels to, so that when the sun comes up, those solar panels will track the sun as it goes over, charging all the batteries. And yeah, and it's a rather nice little system, and I think it could be used for some other things when I get around to it, potentially. I mean, I don't know, theoretically, depending on how the I/O system can read things. If the I/O system can read inventory, you could potentially set up some kind of a key system to allow people through doors. There's an idea. But yeah, it's just a case of wiring all this up to power and data and then dumping it into the solar panels. And then the solar panels will automatically track, as long as there is power in there. That's my next sort of big problem to fix. Or solve, I should say. For now, though, I will just need to move one of these over. Let's do that. And then that will pick up the sun when it flips over. So that will power up when the sun comes up. That will power up. The other thing I put in was the arc furnace. Again, another excellent guide on the forums, on the Steam guides. Basically, you have to put in a 3-to-1 ratio of iron, and so 3 iron for every 1 coal goes into the furnace. Add some gases from oxide and volatile, ratio of 1 to 2. And then when it says this will create X amount of steel, you pull that lever and then the steel just falls out of the bottom. And theoretically you could then put that into a chute system or a conveyor system. And the other system that I set up was this little thing. which is these are filtrations, so filtrators, I think they're called. So if I just nip down here, basically what that can do is, if you release oxygen in this system, use the airlock to pull all of that air. Obviously, wear your spacesuit for this. Pull all the air into the vent. That goes into the into this canister here. Take the gas canister out, and then you run it through the system. And so by putting the canister in this one and turning it on, there's no power, but it then runs the gases through all of this, and then that's the oxygen output. That should be volatile, and that one will be just the exhaust gases from there. You can put in another one. You can basically use filtrators to sort out an awful lot of gas. So I've just vented all the atmosphere out of here, so that now when I seal this up, activate set inward, that's going to pressurize the area, and when it gets to a suitable pressurization, I can then take my helmet off, which is quite nice. The game will tell you if what you're breathing is hazardous in some way, either too low pressure, or maybe there's pollutants within the atmosphere. If you smelt certain things in the arc furnace, it will actually pollute the atmosphere. So there's that. But for now, see, that's a state. So we can see there is something in that air which is not good. So let's flush the system, and then I'll set up the thingy upstairs, and we can do that, sort that out. So just need to vent all this back into that canister. But everything is now charging again. Now we've got steel, we can make more batteries. Pretty much at this point, energy is sorted and oxygen is sort of sorted. It's just a case of making sure that our air is properly filtrated. And I've sort of, in my quest to find out different aspects of the game, I've got all sorts of random things in here. Because I was trying to work out how to make the filtrator. So the fabricator I'm not sure about. It seems to be some kind of large automating thing, but I'm not completely certain how that works yet. Tool manufacturer is for making all your tools, so if you lose something, lose a spacesuit or something like that, you can use the manufacturer to make that. The centrifuge I'm not sure about, but I would assume that's something to do with the uranium eventually. To actually put this stuff in, just that it's not on the floor. But yeah, almost vented. I mean, theoretically, I could dump this all through an oxygen filter anyway, filtration device anyway, so that it sucks everything out, sticks it through the filtration system without all of this sort of additional moving around. And you know, that's definitely going to be something that I'm going to be looking at for the new base. I'm just going to vent all the atmosphere out properly and grab that canister and turn that vent off. Alright, so let's get this filtrated. So this one goes into here. Make sure that that's on. I added a pipe meter in there. I need another canister, so that's not going to work. If I open the canister, there you go. That just voids everything in the canister, so you can do that. Yeah, So that's getting some air in it, and you can't put filters into these things, and it makes stuff happen. And you should be able to do oxygen mixes and stuff using this system as well. But all in all, so far so good. The system works. So what I'm going to be doing now is building, I think, the new facility. I'll have to go do some mining probably. There's a random piece of coal over here. You know, this one's fine, and I'm always going to keep this side of things. But I need a sealed area that I can easily sort of replenish stuff with, and you know, almost like get ready for building in. Let's just put this one in here. I'll take the iron out of there and we'll get some iron on and get some frames building. So let's smelt that. I'm not going to use the steel frames, I'm just going to use the standard frames. This is going to just be a place for me to chill out in, as it were. And I'm thinking, theoretically, using the systems. I don't know if there's any way of auto crafting, and I think that would be an interesting thing to look into. There probably is, on the basis that you can hook that into data ports and have systems automatically fill themselves. So, but what I would want to do is almost like an applied energistics way of doing things, where I can say, well, I want X amount of pipes made. But for now, let's get our... Right, so I do need some construction kit walls. This needs copper. Do I have any copper? Yes, I do. Put some in here. Close that up again. Let's build a load of those. So the wall construction kit is slightly different to the iron wall, in that you can, if you mouse wheel, so you've got your composite wall, which is just your bog standard one, which needs steel sheets to upgrade it. The composite window, which just requires iron sheets and then glass in there, or a railing. And I've actually used two of these. So I've got, this is the composite wall with the window, composite window, and the railing is actually quite nice, I have to say. It's this one here. It's quite nice for these sort of outdoor type areas. Oh, and I've got this as well. Thought that was quite nice, sort of glass door. Really, that sort of thing, it should be used inside, and I'll be using one of these glass doors in my own sort of palace over here, and it'll just go in here in this sort of area here. So there'll be an airlock that takes me inside, and I'll probably build the airlock about here, I think, and then yeah, a small airlock, and then it'll sort of open out, and I'll have just a nice place to really be. I guess, you know, light, actual proper lights up, power, and you know, have a proper bank of solar generators and all sorts of fun little things. Right, so that's the walls done. Now we need iron frames. As many as possible to start with. Right. So let's go over here. So my airlock will be here. Can I make an airlock kit? That would be the next question. Kit. Furnace. I mean, I know, obviously I know. Construction kit, it's probably be construction kit airlock. No? Which one is it in? This is the sort of other reason why I want like a single console that will just I'll be able to select what I want and it makes it for me. Because scrolling through all this stuff is a bit meh. Okay, airlock, there we go. Do what we need. Iron and copper. Right, well I've just run out of iron. And I suspect I don't have a huge amount of copper. But I can get this laid out anyway. After all, it's getting dark now. Right, so I guess the question is, do I want a window in here? I mean, no, it's not that one, is it? That one? No. That one? Yeah. So airlock door that side, airlock door that side. I could put the wall up. Oh, wait a minute. I wanted to do it as a window, didn't I? Just sort that one out. Yeah, I could always put the vent on the ceiling, theoretically. Yeah. I just need some more plates. Iron wall. I mean, iron walls are fine, but they're not particularly floor grating. Iron frames, iron sheets. There you go. You can't really do much with them. There's not a huge amount of versatility there with them, I guess. Yeah, I need to go mining for even more iron, but the windows look quite nice. So it's worth doing, definitely. So I'll have a nice airlock to walk through, and then I'll go inside here. I need some iron. Might actually be some in my mining belt. Nope, I've got what looks like coal, volatile, and some ice as well. That's not very useful. Right, mining time then. An awful lot of this game is mining, unfortunately. It does need to have an automated way of getting ore. I think quite a nice way of doing it would be to have a drone. Or well, no, I think a drone would be quite a good way of doing it. Being able to stay in your base and then having some kind of a battery, a drone that actually requires energy, and you being able to deploy it to do a certain amount of roaming before it needs to return to base, depending depending on how much charge it's actually got in it. I think that would be the way to handle it. And all the pollutants should be out here because I've vented the whole lot. Apparently there's still some kind of pollutants in the air. Maybe it doesn't have any nitrogen in it? Maybe it needs nitrogen? I don't really know. Oh, I've got 31 iron here. That I didn't know. Is it iron and copper I needed? Yeah, but I don't actually have any copper. Let's flip that switch again if the air is not clean, and I'll deal with that again later. Yeah, it just needs an automated way of being able to mine at this stage. The steel can go, actually the steel does need to go into here. I'll probably need that later. Right, so I need some more iron sheets. Let's make, no, about 10 or so. Oh, that many. I'll just make that many. And vent the rest of the atmosphere there. No, bad. Right. It's getting there. It's slowly getting there. Obviously, I need to have floor gratings down. Yeah, I need floor gratings down because at the moment. But I'll also need to get a proper airlock system set up, so that can come later. Because you can create an awful lot of things. Console jewel. I'm intrigued now. Oh right, yeah, of course, because you need, before you can finish it, you do actually need to. But yeah, this is the console thing that allows you to manipulate information or display information in some way. So you can actually have an LED display that shows you some kind of numerical information about something, and you can get some quite long ones as well. But also you can use the consoles to interact with things in different ways, such as airlocks. But I mean, some of that you might just want to do with I/O information instead, by using a button, creating a NOT gate type of thing. So the logic stuff seems to be a little bit more of a less intensive way of creating systems that don't necessarily need to be manipulated all that much. like the solar panel system that got set up here. This system, it doesn't need to be manipulated much, so it can just sort of exist in the world. And I never really need to look at it. It's a really nice system that guy sort of set up. And I will look forward to sort of playing around with it a little bit more in the future. It's basically, I've said this about Space Engineers. I said a long time ago now that Space Engineers could very well be the next Minecraft, on the basis that it had systems in place to allow it to be a strong base game, and for modders to come in later on if needed, to sort of enrich the game. And it never really came to fruition because Space Engineers' base game is so buggy and horrible that you can't really build mods off. There you go, the sun's coming up, and that's now started its auto track. But yeah, modders can't really come in and make the game better because the base game is so horrible and buggy, and it changes so much that it can actually break mods quite frequently. That's a fairly major problem. With this game, the base game is quite strong. Now, they have done some things to the base game that seems to have made the game run better on my system. Performance-wise, it's improved. There's still definitely a long way to go. But it seems to be what Space Engineers could have been. And it seems to be what Minecraft was. You know, Minecraft was always, you know, a sort of a construction game first, but with some really interesting concepts that people could exploit in order to make some really, well, to make some really awesome stuff. Like, you know, Seth Bling putting an emulator of Donkey Kong into Minecraft. That's the sort of thing which you don't expect the game to be used for, but I think it's quite a good measure of a game if you are able to do that sort of thing. Now, with the addition of the logic systems into Stationeers, that sort of thing could be possible. Or rather, interesting things can be possible because the systems don't get in the way of somebody just wanting to enjoy themselves. And that's the problem that I had with Space Engineers, that the game strived so hard to stop you from just enjoying yourself. You know, I want to make a wheeled vehicle because the game apparently allows me to. I don't expect the game to suddenly say, well, actually, you know, we said you could make a wheeled vehicle. Well, you can't actually, because the wheels are going to fall off constantly. And yeah, I just want the game to say, hey, you know, you can make a wheeled vehicle. Well, let's make a wheeled vehicle because it's fun. So yeah, and you know, I've started looking at this game with the same sort of fondness that I look at Minecraft with. I wouldn't necessarily say that Minecraft is my most favourite game, but it is my most played, and it's because it doesn't prevent you from just doing whatever you want with the systems that they've put in. Right, let's just switch these over. I mean, this game's in a really, really good state for something that was introduced into early access not that long ago. Already it's in a better state than Space Engineers is now. The only thing that it's really missing at this time is auto mining. The rest of the game's there. And later on, I don't know if you can do it yet, but later on when you can do things like, I know things like tables and chairs are meant to be a thing that you can add at some point. And when that happens, suddenly you've got more to do in this game than Space Engineers does now. because you can spend some time just decorating your place. And yes, I will compare this game an awful lot to Space Engineers, because I think that Space Engineers got it wrong. And I was actually meant to be going out there for copper, not for... Well, getting some more iron is useful, but I need some copper more than anything, and I put my mining drill in here. Okay. I believe drones are planned in some respect, so it's not a huge not a huge leap to sort of jump to, and it feels like the game could probably handle it alright. I mean, my computer's running reasonably hard now, but then again, I have been using the computer a lot today, because after all, day off and all that. That's copper. Oh, I need my mining belt on. If I put this in here. Okay. I started playing a load of Elite Dangerous this week as well, or last week. Really, really good game. It's currently $4.99 on Steam. If you like your simulators, go check that one out because it's awesome. A little slow paced, but really fun game nonetheless. And there's a huge amount of stuff to do. Galnet really does help sort of know what's going on in the world, and yeah, there's currently a bit of an invasion going on. So you know, you can get involved with all that. Base game is currently $4.99 on Steam. Well worth it for that. Really, really good price for the game. The other one that I saw for $4.99 was Civ 5. I've been playing a lot of that one recently. Though that's only because of multiplayer stuff. Stick that in there. Switch those over. Yeah, so Civ 5 is currently $4.99 on Steam as a part of the Steam sale. I haven't actually bought anything in the Steam sale, weirdly, but I've sort of poked around at games that I already own. Excuse me for one moment. Right, let's get this copper on. And just throw that into there. Right, so we'll get the copper, get the airlock. We need what? Yeah, we need 2 airlocks in that. So whereas this facility here is my test facility, this is the place where I just sort of test things out. This is going to be my proper one. So you'll actually enter in through a proper airlock, go into a sort of a living area, I guess, and then there'll be doors off to different areas, like a furnace area, which will be accessible. I think I'll put that through another airlock, simply because I want to pressurize this area. And I want to have my furnaces off into a sealed off area where I can pull out the gases that's released from the furnace area and filter. You know, so it will go into a filtration unit before going into sort of the tanks, and I'll put proper tanks in, because you can build proper tank, so there'll be a tank area with the gases in. Sorry, my voice is starting to go a little bit croaky. I'm not ill, I'm just, I don't know what's going on. General body issues, you know how it goes. But yeah, that's the sort of the plan, the general idea. Can also, I think, paint things. Let's have a quick look. I emptied quite a lot of this. Spray paint in red. Let's try. Ah, nice. I'm not. The airlocks look nice. The iron walls don't so much. I don't think. I'm not sure. I'm not sold on the outside of that, but maybe the composite walls would look nicer in a red. But yeah, you can paint your walls now. There's a white spray paint. I would assume the white spray paint just sort of takes it back to. Oh no, I don't know. So it was sort of a grayer before. Actually, it's not too bad in the white. Oh, maybe it was in the white in the beginning. No, it's sort of an unpainted. So yeah, the white looks actually all right in the with that. But yeah, so you can now paint it a variety of colours and label things. Right, my copper's done. And I've just put it into the wrong one, haven't I? Yes. So I need 2 airlocks. There's a word of warning if you're going to do this sort of setup where you stick the, well, any machine really on top of the other one, so that it basically, when stuff comes out of this, it can kind of stick on the top or stick through the roof, which is why I've had to remove this the plate from this ceiling panel, because certain things that I was making they were just sort of getting stuck up there, and I was actually unable to get to them when the plate was in. So a bit of a word of warning there, but that won't matter when I've got a proper manufactory area in a sort of a main base sort of setup. This is the other thing that can happen, and if you're not careful, you can accidentally put something into the furnace and then turn it on, which is and then activate it, which will destroy the object. So yeah, I tend to like to turn the arc furnace off if I'm making any machines or anything, because I've done that before. Something bounced into there, I accidentally hit the activate button, and yeah, stuff happened. But thinking about it, you can also, I mean, theoretically anyway, a lot of the stuff that I'm working with is theory, but theoretically you should be able to design a system that will automatically shut machines down if not enough power is being produced. Theoretically, anyway. Right, let's do that. So we've now got our airlock. I mean, unfortunately, because these things sort of stick out the side, I think you do need a couple of walls to kind of jut out either side. Do I have any iron walls? Construction kit walls. Oh, those are the composite walls. Do I have any? Got 1 iron sheet as well. Well, the I'm tempted to do that as a composite wall just to see what it looks like. And I probably would have on the other side as well. Let's get that one welded up as much as possible. And then we just need some steel sheets. Actually, they don't cost that much to make either. There we go. 2 steel sheets. See what these ones look like. I mean, the inside actually looks quite nice. The outside, not so much. You probably want to put another composite wall on this side. Yeah, the back of it doesn't look great, but the front of it does actually. Quite like that. We'll keep that. And also need to get some cables and a crowbar. Because obviously don't have any power at the moment, so we'll go in the hard way. Let's force open that airlock. And that one. I'm gonna rig this up as if I was gonna do a that's a 3-way corner, that's one. Like that. Oh, the data ports are out the back, I think? Out of this side. I'd probably have to take it out. Yeah, I'll just take it out the side. Drop the copper. Oh, I need solder to make power controllers. That's fine. Cable coil, that's the one I wanted. So let's junction it out this side. Oh wait a minute, it's not a junction that I need, is it? It's just a U-turn. Because if this floor comes up, which it does, we've got our data ports out this side. And then that goes on over there. Need to work out how to make solder next, but that'll be something for me to get around to. Cable corner, yeah. take up that one. Right, okay. I need to pull up these random floor panels as well at some point. There's a bit of an error there. Slowly building the new base. It's a really nice game, this. I'm looking forward to what they do with it. Because if it's in this kind of state now, I mean, the state that it's in right now, you could polish it up and release it as a full title within, I don't know, a couple of months, say. I don't think there's any sort of really major issues that would desperately need to be fixed. I've had no crashes. Had some performance issues, but it's sort of understandable. The game's good. I can't really see any flaws with it. I mean, there are flaws with it, but quite a lot of that is due to just a lack of things like tables and chairs. You know, it's very sort of minor sort of little things that would be nice to add at some point, rather than, oh god, this is missing. You know, the game crashes every time I look left. You know, there's none of that. The game seems to perform reasonably well. Yeah, I've got no huge issues with it. I say reasonably well, it does drive my computer reasonably hard, but yeah, it's not really too... It's to be expected, I guess. I mean, I've had AAA games that work my computer harder than this, with no real reason to. You know, I understand there's an awful lot of calculations that are going on in the background with this, so yeah, it's kind of understandable when my computer revs up. Now, I think steel frames can actually have some shapes to them. Again, iron frames and iron walls, they're very basic. They will seal your base from the elements, but when you actually want to do something a little bit more interesting, yeah, so you can actually make side pieces. So I'm going to put one of those sort of side pieces in here, and then you should be able to weld that up, I would suspect. So possibly steel walls might actually go. Let's have a quick look. Steel sheets, glass sheets, floor grating, glass sheets. Right, steel frames, steel sheets. Oh, would it be construction kit wall? I wonder if they would do it. Really should just put some... I can split the stack. I don't really know why I'm not. Thought I could. Okay, it's being weird. Right, bottom one. Let's just do a construction kit wall. Wait, no, because this can't do it, because it won't do it as a... It won't do it as a slant, it'll do it as a... I'll be able to make windows, but I can't make slants. Another interesting thing to try and work out when time allows. But yeah, but you can have sort of corner pieces and side pieces. So you can at least have some kind of roof. I would like to see some more frame pieces, you know, like curves. And maybe sort of smaller decorative pieces as well. So that you could make... so voice is going in. So you could make sort of like half-size pieces that could run along there, for example. But the game doesn't have any of that sort of stuff yet. A lot of what I'm kind of interested in seeing is not big stuff at all. It's very much the little stuff, the stuff that it doesn't really matter so much that it's not there, but it would be nice to have. It's quality of life improvements, basically. What am I looking for? I am looking for the battery, kit battery, that's the one, which requires a lot of gold, copper and steel. Okay, basically the battery is sort of a big sort of battery, I think, as far as I know. And then I could stick that in there between... Well, I think what I would then need to have is fuses coming off that. To avoid... Yeah, this game has fuses, and it short circuits can cause damage, I believe, to systems or make them stop working. You can burn out sort of entire runs and stuff. It's... Yeah, it's... I like the game, I like the style, I like the idea that it's something that's a little bit more like... it's like Minecraft, but once you've modded it a lot. So the other thing that I want is floor gratings. I need 2 of them. Okay, 2 floor gratings. There we go. So the airlock bit's done, apart from the ceiling. I need to get those steel sheets. Steel frames. I don't know how many I need. 5. Welding tool. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, I don't actually know how to weld those ones up. Oh well. I can probably just stick in... Oh yeah, I can just stick in a normal iron frame for the moment. I've got all sorts of random assortments of things in here. Steel frames... frame up, and then 4 iron sheets. 5 iron sheets, as it turned out. There we go. And my power is running out again. Right, I think I'm going to end this video here at this point. There's an awful lot in this game, an awful lot to mess around with, an awful lot to do, and yeah, it's very interesting, I have to say. We'll see where it ends up. Certainly, I think they are listening. They're doing an interesting mix of things. The first and most important thing is that they are listening to feedback. They are looking at ways of making the game better. However, this is the big however. This is the big however that developers may not necessarily understand when they go into early access. It's very important to listen to feedback, but it's also very important to keep the game's focus and goals and just everything that you want the game to be. It's very obvious when you look at something like Space Engineers that there is a difference between what the owner of the company wanted from Space Engineers and what the developers of Space Engineers wanted Space Engineers to be. With Stationeers, it feels like it's a more unified goal that both Dean Hall and the rest of his development team want the game to be something that's slightly more niche, but slightly more towards a certain group of gamers who want games that allow you to just do whatever, but within the constraints of the game rules. So, you know, if you want to set up a logic reader system that takes the angle of the sun and then punches that into the solar panels so that the solar panels then track the sun, then there's nothing stopping you from doing that at all. You don't need to learn how to code in order to do that. You just need to learn how the I/O system works. But anyway, I think I've ambled on enough for now, so I'll be back tomorrow with... God, what was it tomorrow? Fallout, I think. Yeah. Mondays are Fallout. Wednesdays is Prison Architect, and then Warden Mode, and then Thursdays is whatever I feel like. So with that, I will say thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.